Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. Well, it seems like the sanctions, the European sanctions, are starting to, the unity starts to crumble, go down. There were some cracks from the very beginning, and the cracks they become wider and wider. A lot of countries, from what I saw in the mass media, they barely agreed with the script. So they went along for a time, just not to oppose it when it was the frenzy at the beginning. And it seems like right now they're trying to move backward, like, okay, I'm moving back. You don't see me moving, and get out. So from the crowd, that's how probably it's happening. So this article comes from Reuters from May 29, 2022, and it says EU unity on Russian sanctions, and I'm quoting, starting to crumble, German minister says. So German Economy Minister Robert Habeck on Sunday expressed fears that the European Union's unity was, and I'm quoting, starting to crumble ahead of a summit to discuss an oil embargo against Russia and plans to cut dependence on Russian oil. This Habeck, I think it was that guy who said that he's okay with seizing and redistributing or using the Russians' assets in rebuilding Ukraine. This very open and contract is a contract guy. So EU leaders will meet on Monday, today, and tomorrow, Tuesday, to discuss a new sanctions package against Russia, which could also include an oil embargo, which failed on Sunday's meeting, and a program aiming to speed up ending dependence on fossil fuels, including Russian gas. And I'm quoting: "After Russia's attack on Ukraine, we saw that can happen when Euro stands united." Well, okay, stands united. With a view to the summit tomorrow, let's hope it continues like this, but it's already starting to crumble and crumble again, Habeck told a news conference. Yes, as I said, people did it, countries did it, leaders did it because they had to. But now they're trying to, okay, now it's for real. Talk is talk, is cheap, walk the talk. On Friday, European countries scrambled to search to reach a deal to embargo seaborne deliveries of Russian oil, but allow deliveries by pipeline, a compromise to win over Hungary and unblock new sanctions against Moscow. Habeck called for Germany to speak with one voice at the summit instead of abstaining from votes due to differences of opinion within the country's ruling coalition. He called for similar unity from other EU states, and I'm quoting, "Europe is still a huge economic area with incredible economic power." Yeah, if you have resources to have the economic power. Otherwise, you're going to provide services to one another, like picking fleas from one another, like the monkeys pick fleas from one another. That's the services you guys provide to one another. But, it's a huge economic area, yeah, with incredible economic power. Yeah, if you have resources like a car. A car is a beautiful piece of equipment, but if you don't have gas to have it running, you look at it and say, that's beautiful, but its use is useless because we don't have gas. So there you have it, beautiful car, yeah. Too bad it's not running. And when it stands united, it can use that power. Okay, the car stays united too, but still can't move. Habeck said at the opening of the German Hanover mass trade fair. All right, well, if Europe stays together, that's good, that's good. Now, the other thing here, another article I want to discuss. So this is clear. The guys are just don't can get. They need Russian oil and gas for a while, and when if they're gonna be able to get it from somewhere else, it's gonna take time and it's gonna be an extra price. The Russians will not be really hurt because they're gonna go to Asia, and where these guys are taking the supplies and redirect it to Europe, Russia goes back over there, or if unless there's no sanctions on those countries. It's just going to be harder for Europeans, harder probably for the Russians, and here we go. But then you think, what do Europeans have to do with that war in Ukraine? And you say, well, because Putin is going to go in and take us all. Okay, well, if you think that way, then what can I do? Just talk and try to say the other side of the story at least. I have another article here that I'm gonna put it together with this one. It's very interesting. Is It's coming from oilprice.com, and it's from yesterday, but it doesn't matter if it's from yesterday or not because it's still valid. This is a question. The title is a question. Could Iraq dethrone Saudi Arabia as largest oil producer? Well, what happened with Iraq? We know what happened to Iraq. Iraq remains one of the most underdeveloped oil producers in the Middle East. Yeah, for the 20 years, what happened? I thought that Halliburton went in with Dick Cheney to help. No? Okay. Iraq holds a very conservatively estimated 145 billion barrels of proved crude oil reserves. At $2 to $3 per barrel, Iraq enjoys some of the lowest lifting costs in the world. Iraq oil minister said last week that the country aims to increase its crude oil production to 6 million barrels per day by the end of 2027. By 2027, we're all, bailed out. But anyway, this sort of statement with the amount of year charge changed slightly in each variant has been made by several oil ministers and several occasions. But with oil prices still at supportive levels for producers, the latest statement prompts three key questions. Can it be done? Can even more be done? And it will be done. So can it be done? Can even more be done? And will it be done? The answer to the first question is yes. Iraq even more so than Iran remains the greatest relatively underdeveloped oil frontier in the world. Yeah, and it says here that estimately 145 billion barrels of proved crude oil reserves, nearly 18% of Middle East total and around 9% of the world's. So yeah, it's a lot. Currently, it is producing around 4.1 to 4.2 million barrels per day compared to its April OPEC quota of 4.414 million BPD, and its quota is due to increase to 4.5 million BPD in June. Well, what can you do? It's a lot of oil, and it seems like they will have to be. The whole article is about it's Iraq's. It has to be developed. That means we need people to invest in Iraq and get that oil so we can sell more. So who's gonna get in? The Russians, or the Americans, or the British? Who's gonna get in? That's the whole thing with that. So you see how why was Iraq left to this level? Was it because of a war over there? Was it why? And all of a sudden they need Iraq. So that tells me that's a big, as it is, shortage, and the market needs the supply, and they will help Iraq. I don't know who's gonna help Iraq, but that's gonna happen slowly. I read an article a few days ago that Iraq said something very in the middle. They passed a law, something about Israel not recognizing Israel or something like that, which is very troubling because they're gonna get it. If you know what I mean, they're gonna get it. Well, we'll see. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.